Okay, so Mamie hurt the defense side a lot, I would say, but I think Bruce Katara and Stacy made up for Mamie's side, and on the prosecution,
they all just kind of.
I thought Randy tried. He really did try. He objected. He did what he could, but Brian kind of hurt them, and
I think Serena hurt them too, because I couldn't even hear what she was talking about.
Yeah,
honestly.
Nor was she facing us, so I think that kind of hurt them too.
I think that shows that she's not confident at all when she's facing away from the jury, you know, like she doesn't know what to do, basically, and then Nathan saying, I don't know.
Yeah, Nathan said, I don't know a lot.
So.
Which that's one of Nathan's wonderful words.
Somebody on the defense said we must act outside of fear and hate, and I like that because a lot of people, they're just full of hate, want to, even if nobody they know has been hurt, just let's hate people, let's hate murderers and rapists, whether they serve their time or not, and I like that. And somebody said think rational, let's be smart, and that made sense. It's like, yeah. Let's
Closing statement, who do you think would go?
Bruce, defense, yep.
Bruce. I think if Brian would plant his feet or walk more softly or whatever.
Closing statement.
I think so too.
And I think...
I mean, there were 2 closing statements now. They did 2 of the last one.
Yeah.
That was the de-strategizing or whatever.
I think they should... All I really got from them is just protection. That's really... that's all they kept saying was protect.
That was Brian's first word in the statement. He's like, protection. I'm like, what?
He just stopped. I'm like...
Protection.
I'm like, okay.
But what the defense didn't bring up, well, they did, but why? I don't know why they didn't come up with other reasons like, okay, protection, I get that, but we can protect ourselves by going online and going to a police station. Yeah. So we can protect ourselves without...
Passing on fires, was protection of our family, and then it repeats basically and says we should change the public to keep it safe, which is basically the same thing. And then it says he said it would benefit the public if they were publicly shamed. And like that's basically saying protection 3 times in a row. And then Bruce, he had good facts. He actually stated an amendment, and then he said there's other ways to find out, and it hurts our chances to move.
Yeah, I thought the buying of the house thing was a really good thing.
Yeah, I just didn't see the facts at all in prosecution.
Yeah.
Just the Megan's law and then wash up. That's it.
That was
Agreed.
Okay, we're all in agreement?
So let's take a recess.
I guess we do have to ask you.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Strauss is presiding.
Please be seated. We took a small recess, and before we get to the verdict in today's trial, this is not a real courtroom proceeding by any means of the word.
Mock court.
It's a mock trial for all of our fans on YouTube. It's not real by any sense of the word. So part of this is a teaching exercise where certain individuals are assigned something that they have to do, and then they have to cohesively band together to arrive at a mutual conclusion in some way, shape, or form. That's why we call it effective speaking. Well, the reason I do this all at any pace is I want to congratulate both sides for overcoming those issues, okay, of whether it was, communication problems or whatever, or just, exactly what happened with, and I'll say Mamie because she was probably the one who surprised all of us the most. Some of her research we couldn't allow. So you go out and you do all this research and you think you're coming in loaded for bear, and then all of a sudden none of it's usable, and then you're kind of standing there going, So I want to congratulate both the prosecution and the defense, whatever the outcome is of the jury, for both of their participation today, because you did a really good job on all sides, okay? And we want to also thank the video club as well for coming out and doing this, videotaping this whole thing for us as well, because I want to get the thank yous out of the way. You guys don't get enough credit as it is. So Thank you again, okay? I like to talk about this to see what you guys got out of it, because that's effectively speaking. You know what I'm saying? That's communicating. That takes you all the way back 11 weeks in this quarter, how we started when we first came in here saying, what are we doing? And now you understand a little bit more about how you can effectively change people's minds, you know, if you do it the right way. So, okay, that being said, let's get to the bottom line here. So after a small recess, we had a deliberation with the jury, and has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor, the jury has. In the case of sexual offenders being publicly shamed or not, the jury has decided and is going to favor with the defense side.
Okay. Question for the jury, since this isn't really an official courtroom. Tell us why.
The defense side, like Jennifer said, we were all going to go with the prosecution. Like before we heard both sides, we all kind of figured, you know, we're going to go with the prosecution of, yeah, they should be publicly shamed. But after hearing the defense, they came off a lot more confident. They had facts to back up what they said. I think Stacy's side of her actually having a personal story. I think it was Katara that brought up the fact that skinny dipping and all that other stuff was considered that. Also 15 years of being publicly shamed. I think that's a little ridiculous. Bruce came off very confident. He didn't even use note cards. So I think everything that he said, he had facts to back it up with.
And Mamie?
Mamie crumbled. That did hurt their side a lot. We did discuss that. But I think the other three were strong enough to pick up the slack that Mamie crumbled on.
Okay. Well, then, in the case of should sex offenders, should they be shamed in public, the jury finds in favor of the defense. So with that in mind, 200 points of extra credit are being awarded to the defense that will be distributed evenly between the 4 representatives. Okay? Any questions on this assignment we did today? Any projects? Any kind of questions on the projects? Yes, this is going to be on YouTube. Everybody asked me. So I'm going to try to get it on YouTube. And if we do, that ought to be something to see. Yeah. So leave your comments here. Okay, so in the case of should sex offenders be shamed in public, the jury finds in favor of the defense, and that wraps it up. Thank you very much for participating. Case closed.
Let's eat.
Let's eat. Court adjourned.
That's a wrap.